Welcome to the channel, where the world unfolds one story at a time. From the hidden forces shaping global politics to the breakthroughs transforming science, technology, and space, we break down complex ideas into stories that are clear, engaging, and thought-provoking. Here, history connects with today's headlines, and the biggest events in our world become stories you can truly understand. So if you're curious about the world and the forces shaping our future, you're in the right place, and buckle up. In 2012, millions of people watched a man jump from the edge of space. He fell 120,000 feet toward Earth, broke the sound barrier, and shattered multiple world records. It looked like something NASA would do, but when the camera zoomed out, something strange appeared. A logo, not NASA, not SpaceX, Red Bull. Why would an energy drink company send someone to the edge of space? Because the truth is, Red Bull was never really a drink company at all. Today, the Red Bull energy drink is one of the most successful beverages on the planet. The company sells billions of cans every year in over 170 countries, and the global energy drink industry is now worth tens of billions of dollars. But here's the strange part. The drink itself isn't particularly special. It didn't win taste tests. It wasn't invented in Silicon Valley, and it didn't even start in the West. Instead, the story of Red Bull begins in rural Thailand, with a poor farmer's son who couldn't afford school, and a random encounter that would turn a strange syrup into a global marketing empire. Long before Red Bull became a global brand, there was a man named Chaleo Uvidya. He was born in rural Thailand to a family of duck farmers. They were poor, very poor. Education was a luxury his family couldn't afford, so instead of school, Chaleo worked. Eventually, he moved to Bangkok and started working in pharmaceutical sales. And over time, through persistence and saving money, he opened a small company in 1956 called TC Pharmaceutical Industries. At first, the company simply distributed medicines. But something interesting was happening in Asia. Japanese companies had started selling energy tonics, and these drinks promised to fight fatigue and increase concentration. And they were becoming incredibly popular. Chaleo saw an opportunity, but he noticed something important. Most of these drinks were expensive, and they targeted wealthy consumers. But the people who really needed energy were construction workers, truck drivers, farmers, people working long physical hours. So Chaleo created his own drink. It contained caffeine, B vitamins, taurine, and a lot of sugar. He named it Krating Daeng. In Thai, that roughly translates to red gore, a powerful wild animal similar to a bull. The drink symbolized strength, endurance, and hard work. But at first, almost nobody noticed it. When Krating Daeng launched in Thailand, the market was already crowded. Japanese and Korean energy drinks dominated shelves. So Chaleo tried something different. Instead of focusing on big cities, he went rural. He started giving free samples to truck drivers, people working long overnight shifts. The drink helped them stay awake, and word began spreading. Slowly, steadily, the drink became popular among Thailand's working class. To build the brand further, Chaleo began sponsoring Muay Thai fights, Thailand's national sport. Now the drink wasn't just a product. It represented strength and endurance. And by the 1980s, Krating Daeng had become a huge success in Thailand. But the real turning point was about to come from a completely unexpected place. An Austrian businessman selling toothpaste. His name was Dietrich Mateschitz, and he was a marketing executive traveling around the world. Long flights, constant jet lag, exhaustion. On one trip to Thailand, he walked into a store looking for something to help him stay awake. That's when he found Krating Daeng. He drank it, and within minutes, his jet lag disappeared. Dietrich became obsessed with the drink. Then he discovered something shocking. Energy drinks were already huge across Asia. Yet in Europe and America, they barely existed. So Dietrich made a bold decision. He quit his job, tracked down Chaleo, and proposed something crazy. Take the drink global. The two men formed a partnership. Each invested $500,000, and in 1984, they created a new company in Austria. Its name? Red Bull. But there was a problem. When they tested the drink in Europe, people hated it. Taste testers called it disgusting. Market research said it would fail. Most companies would have given up. But Dietrich ignored the research. Instead, he made several key changes. The drink became carbonated. The can became tall, slim, and silver. And the price was almost double other soft drinks. This was deliberate. Red Bull wasn't meant to feel cheap. It was meant to feel premium. Then came the slogan that would define the brand. Red Bull gives you wings. And in 1987, Red Bull officially launched in Europe. But the company had a huge problem. They had almost no marketing budget, so they had to get creative. Instead of traditional ads, Red Bull created experiences. They recruited popular college students, gave them free cases of Red Bull, and had them drive around campuses in Mini Coopers with giant Red Bull cans on top. They paid students to throw parties. They hired Red Bull girls to hand out drinks. Sales reps convinced bars to mix Red Bull with alcohol. And sometimes, they even left empty cans in clubs just to spark curiosity. The strategy worked. In the first year alone, Red Bull sold over 1 million cans. But Dietrich wasn't satisfied. He had a much bigger idea. Instead of advertising, Red Bull would create culture. Most companies sponsor sports. Red Bull owns them. The company sponsors hundreds of athletes across sports like Formula One, football, and extreme sports. They created their own events like Red Bull Flug Tag, where teams launch homemade flying machines off giant ramps. They built a massive media company. They own sports teams. They sponsor music festivals. And then came the moment that defined the brand forever. In 2012, Red Bull sent skydiver Felix Baumgartner to the edge of space. He jumped, falling faster than the speed of sound. Millions watched live on YouTube, and the video eventually reached over 100 million views. But here's the strange part. Throughout the event, Red Bull barely mentioned the drink. No product pitch, no sales message, just an incredible spectacle. Because Red Bull understood something most brands don't. People don't share advertisements, they share stories. Over time, Red Bull became the dominant energy drink brand in many markets. More than 100 billion cans have been sold worldwide since the company launched, and the company earns enormous profits. Some estimates suggest a can costs only a few cents to produce, yet sells for several dollars. But the drink itself isn't the real product. The real product is the brand. Red Bull doesn't sell caffeine. It sells adrenaline, adventure, risk, freedom. The drink is just the ticket into that world. Red Bull started as a cheap energy syrup for tired workers in Thailand. Today is one of the most powerful brands on earth. And the secret wasn't the formula. It wasn't the taste. It wasn't even the product. The secret was understanding something simple. People don't buy products. They buy stories. They buy identity. They buy feelings. And Red Bull mastered that better than almost any company in history. Which is why, after all these years, one small energy drink still dominates the skies. Because Red Bull never just sold a beverage. It sold the idea of having wings.